how we will set up the scene. Dauntless is heading back to the Ciatina system. At a
Why are we going there?
Well, where were you guys headed at the end of last episode?
We were headed away from the Ciatina system back to the Felithic system.
Back to the Felithic system. Okay, good call. Then that's where we will have you guys heading. Thank you for checking me on that one. Yeah, heading back at a leisurely warp 3, if I recall correctly, and
yes.
And yeah, you are being hailed.
On screen?
The screen comes up and it's 19.
Captain.
19. How did your mission go?
It was managed successfully.
Glad to hear it. Glad to see you're back home.
It seems you encountered some trouble while I was...
Yeah, you could say that. I'll brief you once you come on board.
Do I have permission to bring someone with me, Captain? There is someone I would like you to meet.
Of course.
I will see you soon.
Sounds good. And then I'm going to just turn in my chair towards the transporter pads in the back of the room. Energize.
Energizing. And two figures appear on the transporter beam. One is, or on the transporter pad rather, one is 19, who you're obviously very familiar with. The other is Romulan. Kind of reddish hair, as I seem to recall.
Yep, reddish hair.
Dressed in what looks like a diplomat's robes.
And Bianca will stand up and go over to the transporter pad and nod her head and say, Jolan True.
Jolan True, Captain. I am Nalay. And it seems we have already met, in a sense.
And I just tilt my head to the side.
Bianca just kind of like raises an eyebrow. Oh?
A long story, Captain, and one perhaps better shared in your ready room.
And as you got closer, you would notice that there's striking familial similarity between 19 and no.
And then Bianca just kind of tilts her head and she goes, "Is this your sister?"
This happens as you guys are making your way into the ready room. The doors close behind all of you.
It was who I thought was my sister.
I see.
It seems that shortly before my assimilation, and due to, I will not say mistakes, but corrections that the Borg saw fit to make after assimilating me, I am actually Nalay. And, well...
So, you're the same person?
Indeed.
Well, that's interesting.
I just imagine a mirrored eyebrow raise.
That is not dissimilar to my initial reaction, Captain.
Mm. She had me quarantined and tested my genetic information.
Ah,
I,
oh, I
I do
guess I'm
apologize.
happy you found each other.
I do apologize for the way in which 19 was treated upon their arrival. However, given 40 years of fighting against the Tal Shiar, one cannot be too careful. It would
I'm
not
sure
be
you
the
did the
first
best you
time.
could.
Indeed, the paranoia is a hard habit to leave behind.
I can imagine. Well then, will you be? And she turns to Nalay and she goes, "Will you be leaving for the Romulan ship, or would you be staying a while?"
I must get back to my ship, Captain. I have a scientific mission to continue,
Well, so do we.
and given the situation as we've been briefed in the Ciatina system, it seems we may have colony worlds to search for.
Yes, myself and the officers aboard the USS Shroud have also been looking for possible Ciatina colonies. We've downloaded the database from their homeworld. Hopefully, that'll give us some leads.
Very well, Captain. If I may take my leave?
Of course.
19.
Senator?
And she exits the conference room. Or the ready room.
Once she's gone, I look back to Beyond. She is going to put in a word with various temporal agencies to see about the incursion and perhaps fixing any problems that it caused.
Well, there's one big one that it caused. One
And if I
defy. In fact, we're going to be having a staff meeting about it later today. I'd like you to be there.
Of course. And if in any way my presence led to the incursion, I apologize.
No. According to my research, they were using a device called a spore drive, which is not current technology.
Interesting. I'm not familiar with it.
He uses some sort of organic method of propulsion. It's very confusing, actually. And there isn't much data on it in the Federation database.
No doubt seen as harmful to your, what is the order? Protocol?
General Order 1, maybe. I don't know. But it allowed for trans-dimensional transportation. Whatever it is, it's powerful.
Well, there are methods other than whatever this unit of propulsion is that this other group managed to get a hold of. The Borg are quite familiar with interdimensional.
Well, we might just need your expertise then.
Very well. If I may have at least an hour to regenerate, I would appreciate it.
You'll have it.
All right. And then I will wait to be dismissed and I will leave.
And Bianca just, she actually gets up from her desk.
All right, I'm gonna go regenerate because I probably haven't slept in like 36 hours.
Right?
As you move through the bridge of the ship, Jonas will wave from his station.
Lieutenant,
Glad to see you back.
it is good to be back. Perhaps later I can regale you with my adventure.
And I will fill you in on everything that happened.
I'm sure it was exciting.
That's one word.
And I just like give him a slight nod and step into the turbo.
Bianca just settles back into the captain's chair, and she's just like, alternate realities are confusing.
Alternate realities are headaches, Captain.
Can only imagine.
As you kind of settle into your chair, you receive another incoming hail. This one from the USS Yorktown.
And Bianca just kind of takes a deep breath before she says, on screen,
Captain West, Captain Stiles, USS Yorktown. There's a situation developing. There's a situation developing in the Ciatina system. We need you back here as soon as possible.
And then Bianca just says, Helm, proceed to the Ciatina system at quantum slipstream velocity.
Look forward to seeing you shortly. Yorktown out. Okay.
What do we have to go back for? And that's said to Commander Bosch.
I don't know, Captain. There wasn't a whole lot left when we escaped from there, but perhaps the Yorktown needed additional assistance with getting their engines back online. I know that we kind of left them stranded at the far edge of the system.
I mean, I told them if they needed any help, but, Mr. Too Proud for anything.
He doesn't strike me as a man who asks when he needs assistance. Certainly didn't while I was transiting aboard his ship.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to admit a mistake, would we?
I've noticed it's in the personality of some of the best captains not to admit mistakes, but also in some of the worst.
Okay, we're going to pause here because the captain's phone is ringing IRL.
And then the bridge erupts into a dance party while the captain's gone.
Also, in the wake of us having defeated the enemy, Madonna Sapphic is just sitting there listening to Another One Bites the Dust by Queen.
Outstanding.
Just kind of like dancing in her little chair as she just does science stuff.
Nice. Can you turn your microphone gain up just a little bit, Jinx? Because you're really quiet on my end.
I can try.
Try now?
Yeah, I'm trying right.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I don't know if there's anywhere I could put it up.
It's a little better right now.
Yeah, my mic was a little far away from my mouth. I do that by habit sometimes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Well, and my phone started ringing, which means that I got my ringtone in my earbuds and not what people were saying.
That's always unpleasant.
Yeah. No,
That's
I mean,
okay.
you can just imagine that's what I was saying. I just open my mouth and ringtones come out.
You open your mouth in the suicide
Wasn't
mission
that a
game.
TNG episode?
That was, in fact, where Data is dreaming on the holodeck.
Yeah.
Just imagine that,
Right. Okay.
if you will.
I just thought that's how engineers worked.
Yeah.
Basically.
All right. Okay.
Nothing needs to be rolled to get us into quantum slipstream, right? We're just
I normally do make that a roll.
okay.
The difficulty here is going to be kind of steep for an opening roll. It's going to be difficulty 3. Because you guys are basically dropping right out of warp, pulling a 180. It's like doing half a space donut and coming about.
Meanwhile, Bianca is going to tell the Shroud to go to the Fellothric system. Without them, they're needed back in the Ciatina system.
Shroud acknowledges. Good luck.
Might need it.
Are we aware of any life lost on the Yorktown during that whole situation?
Minimal casualties on the Yorktown.
That's better than it looked, TBH, so that's good.
Yeah.
Was Styles one of them?
He was not, but there's speculation as to whether his swagger stick was.
Okay, we don't have any momentum, do we?
We do not.
Nope.
Does the ship help me in this role, or is it just me?
The ship can
Yes,
help,
the ship
and
will.
you've got a pretty capable captain who could probably assist as well.
Yes, she
That would
will
be-
assist.
Are you assist using?
I will roll for the ship. What is the ship roll?
Okay. The ship is going to roll Structure Con. Bianca, are you doing this via a direct action? That is, are you assisting with your command? Okay.
With command, yes.
Um,
And with my advisor, you can re-roll a dice. So
Okay, that would be good, because it's a nice roll for me, but without a little bit of momentum, a 3 is a little scary to look at for the
Yeah.
moment.
Okay.
Yes.
So it'll be Control Con for you. Journey for Jonas.
All right.
Would my inspiration focus apply?
Not for this particular role. This is a fairly
Helm operations?
Helm operations. Sure.
Okay.
I'm
you
re-rolling
can-
that complication.
Yes, you can re-roll with my advisor talent. There you go.
3, 4, 5, 6 successes, giving you guys 3 momentum. Very nicely done. So yeah, it's exactly what happens is Dauntless drops out of warp, comes about in deep space, and engages its quantum slipstream drive. So in a matter of a few moments, you guys arrive at the Ciatina system. And let me put everything on. Oh wait, everything is already there. So this is the scene when you arrive. Yorktown is already present, and 3 ships that you recognize to be of Ciatina design are also in the system.
Hail the Yorktown.
Hailing frequencies open. Dauntless, glad to see you made good time.
Well, you said it was urgent, sir.
I did, and it is. Do you have any sort of relationship with the Ciatina here, Captain?
In a sense. We made first contact with them.
Would you like to make an attempt to communicate with them now? Because they are not exactly conducive to communicating with us.
Can do. Hail the lead Ciatina ship.
Is that me? Or...
Sorry, say again, Jinx?
Oh, is that me who hails it, or someone else?
Take your pick.
I'll hail.
Okay.
Hailing frequencies open, Captain. I think. Maybe. Probably. I don't know. Yeah,
Pushes the
I hail
button.
them. Pushes the button.
Yes.
Bianca kind of straightens out her uniform jacket, sits up a little straighter.
Did we get him? Or
Oh yeah, do we have to roll for that?
No.
do we? Oh, okay.
No, it's just I literally cannot hear anything Jinx is saying, so.
Oh.
Oh.
I said I pushed the button to
Okay.
hail them.
Okay. You get one of the Ciatina ship's captains on screen. And no one on that ship looks exactly in a happy place, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Well, I'm sure Bianca can tell.
Bianca can very much tell. Reading their emotions, they're in a state of shock, grief, and disbelief, and a fair amount of anger. And right now, I have done that, Steph. Actually, I've already got Jinx's volume all the way up.
Oh.
You get the feeling that they spoke with Yorktown briefly and were not really happy with the outcome of the discussion.
This is Captain Bianca West of the USS Dauntless.
Dauntless. We are being told everyone on our world is dead. And we cannot go down there to start reclaiming the bodies. What the hell is going on?
First of all, I want to extend my deepest condolences. It was actually my ship that discovered what had happened on your world. A starship came from a parallel universe and deployed a virus on your homeworld. Their aim was to steal your technology. It pains me to say that we were too late. I was part of the first contact team that made contact between the Federation and the Ciatina. This loss affects me deeply. And I know words are not enough. But we want to prevent further loss of life to your people. We want to make sure that the area is safe before we allow recovery efforts. We do not want you to sustain any more losses than you already have.
Be honest with me, Captain. Is there even anything left to recover?
From what I understand, the infrastructure, buildings, all of that is still standing. My first officer was actually on the planet shortly after the incident. But as far as the people, we have not been able to locate any survivors.
Captain, on behalf of my crew and the crew of our fellow ships, we formally request asylum. We have no colonies. We are a dead people.
I'll make sure the paperwork is done.
Where should we go?
The Federation Task Force has rendezvoused in the Felithrine system. I will give you the coordinates.
We will make our way there.
I'm
Captain,
sorry.
so are we.
And as the transmission cuts, Bianca just pinches the bridge of her nose and closes her eyes.
And
she says to Jonas, as quietly as she can, while still being able to project over the distance of the bridge, she just, Lieutenant Carden, send them the coordinates for the Felithrine system.
Yes, Captain.
And as you send those coordinates, the 3 ships in formation turn and warp out of the system.
And she turns to Bosch again, and what was so hard about that, other than the fact that it's hard?
I don't imagine that was going to be easy one way or another, Captain. It's a little hard to tell somebody about a loved one dying. It's a little harder to tell them that every loved one has died. At the same time, though, I honestly don't know if we can deny them the opportunity to go down to the planet and collect their dead if they decide to come back. They're not exactly a member of the Federation. We don't have jurisdiction here.
No, we don't. But as soon as we secure its site, make sure that there's nothing left of the pathogen, we'll let them assist in the recovery efforts.
Perhaps I should check with Dr. Pierce on his analysis of the neurovirus that he detected on the corpse that we brought back. Maybe he can tell us a little more about its life cycle and if it's dissipated enough by now to allow safe access to the planet for the rest of their race.
Yes, we'll have to set up morgues all over the planet. We're going to need ships, medical ships, to
Agreed.
do this properly. Prepare a communique to Starfleet Command.
I'll write up the report.
Incoming hail from Yorktown.
On screen.
Captain West. Good job handling those Ciatina ships. What'd you tell them?
It is a dark day, and I was sorry that we couldn't have done more.
Well, details still fall under the Omega Directive, but on that note, I read your mission report, and from what I read, the ISS Dauntless managed to get back to their universe with the Omega technology that they stole. Am I reading that correctly?
That is correct. They were able to engage their spore drive and make a jump before we were able to recover the technology.
I was afraid of that. On the given the contingencies of the Omega Directive, Captain, I'm going to have to order you to pursue the ISS Dauntless and recover and destroy that technology.
I have already had my people thinking about it. We have a staff meeting in not too long.
All right. In that case, we're going to continue here with the Omega cleanup efforts. Yorktown out.
Bianca just keys off the view screen.
Yep, the view screen just closes. Or not closes,
I hate this guy. I hate him. I hate him so much.
Is Styles the captain of the, is that Styles, the guy you hate, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My direct superior, yay!
If we have to track down the ISS Dauntless, wait, is Styles the captain of the ISS Dauntless, or is that somebody
No.
else?
No, Styles is the captain of the USS Yorktown. The ISS Dauntless is captained by one Varek Santiago from the Mirror Universe.
So that would have been fun for Bianca to at least kill a mirror version of Styles. But, oh well, but so are we gonna... are we them then, Captain, or... Like, do we even know where they...
We're going to have a staff meeting in about an hour to discuss options.
Captain, would you like us to remain here or go somewhere else?
Set a course for the Felithrine system.
I got to.
All right. We're going to cut down to sickbay here. And Sapphic, I'm actually going to have you down here with 19, both of you kind of involved with your own work, because there's two projects going on. One is the Ciatina, the dead Ciatina body that was brought back up to the Dauntless. The other is the sample of mycelium that you guys still have.
Okay, nice.
You get mushrooms, I get body.
Yeah, I get mushrooms, you get body.
And never the twain shall meet.
Do I have to roll anything to research this, or?
Yes, so the research is going to be reason plus science.
Oh, I have to read below the page. Sorry, 1 sec.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me know when you're back in.
Yeah, maybe have 19 do her roll on
Okay.
the body first.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's do that then. We'll have you do reason medicine for that. The ship can assist with sensors medicine.
All right, and what's my target?
Your target difficulty is 1.
All
this
right,
is a pretty routine, pretty routine autopsy. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, brain.
The ship was sensors medicine?
The ship is sensors medicine, yes.
And I'm assuming I have a focus?
Yes, your xenobiology focus applies. Hey. Whoa! Dauntless's sensors are on the ball. Okay, you guys are maxed out and have a bonus momentum that you can use for an information spend.
Oh, damn, I didn't spend a momentum. Oh, wait, no, I can. Okay, never mind. I forgot that I have Studious.
Oh.
I'm going to use that this time.
Okay.
But first, tell me what I learned, and then I'll
Okay. So, to corroborate the scans that you did on the planet's surface, this Ciatina was killed when its nervous system was completely deionized. It was looked like it was a
Ooh.
chemical agent that may have done that bonded specifically uh, to the neurons in the Ciatina's nervous system. So basically, a very effective nerve agent.
Okay.
The agent has a half-life of about 30 minutes. So given that it's been at least 2 to 3 days, it is probably the contamination levels are low enough where even a Ciatina would be able to go back onto the planet's surface now.
Okay, so it's inert by now.
Yes, it was designed to have a very short half-life.
All right. Then with the floating momentum, I'm gonna ask a question.
Okay.
With like my focus is on virology and neurology, can I kind of pinpoint what systems within the brain it specifically attacked?
Yes. It's primarily targeted the sympathetic nervous system, which controls most of the body's autonomous functions, breathing, heartbeat.
Okay, so it basically just like pushed the off button.
It pushed the off button.
Okay, and then with my three questions,
it would have been quick, relatively painless, and yeah, yeah.
Is it possible for me to potentially synthesize an antidote if we were to come across them using this in response to us engaging them in like if we were to go against the ISS Dauntless, could I use this information to have like a neuralizing agent so that we would not suffer the same effect?
You would need to administer it kind of like an anti-radiation drug. It would need to be administered beforehand because the agent is so quick acting, you would not have time to administer an antidote after exposure.
Right. Okay. But it is potentially possible.
Yes, it is very much possible to basically design an antigen, if you will.
Okay.
The antigen will probably have a similar half-life though, so it would be good. One dose would be good for about 30 minutes or so.
Oh boy. Okay.
There is one other thing that you notice that I'm going to give you.
Oh.
The chemical construction of the organic compound that's used to create this chemical agent shares similarities to Borg synthetic compounds, suggesting a common origin.
Okay. Concern. Would I know that origin?
You know Borg chemical engineering when you see it. Now this is not directly Borg technology. It is.
But it's nanotechnology.
It is nanotechnology that bears a good deal of resemblance, as if it were derived from Borg nanochemistry.
Just standing there staring at it as like my brain is like buffering. It's just like hit the comm badge. 19 to the.
Sorry, you cut out right as the
19 to Captain West.
Captain West here.
Captain, I have something you need to see.
Lay it on me.
I believe it would be best for you to be seen in person.
On my way.
Okay. As Bianca is on her way, Sapphic, now that you're back in roll 20, let's do that science roll.
Oh, there we go. I have to scroll down.
Oh no!
Let me far the way up there. Oh my god, my rolls are so. Why are my rolls always so bad? Oh damn.
I tell you what, though, I will let you succeed at cost on this one.
What would entail with at cost?
Okay, so the cost in this particular circumstance will be that I give myself 2 threat.
Oof. I guess there's no other choice. Yeah.
Okay. So I give myself 2 threat. What you are able to determine from your scans, breaking down the mycelium, you're able to determine, obviously, the quantum signature of this particular grouping of spores does not match the quantum signature on of anything else on the Dauntless. The reason for that being that this sample of mycelium is from another universe.
Yeah, I figured as much.
One other thing that you do discover, though, looking at the RNA strands inside this mycelium, you think that there may be information encoded in the RNA, specifically coordinates. Like this spore species may use RNA to transmit its location to other mycelia.
Would a focus in xenobiology help in me figuring it out? I'm looking at the RNA of this thing and trying to maybe gather the coordinates that you're talking about, or?
Yes, it would. You would need to do it as another roll, so it would be another reason science.
Okay,
I
here we
will
go.
let I'll let 19 assist on this one with reason medicine, since
Okay.
you guys are both down there.
So yeah, I call 19 over, like, hey, 19, can I get your help on this for a second? Looking at the RNA of this, I think I could get something really good out of this, basically. If you have the time, of course.
I will definitely poke at it, curious.
Thanks. And so let's roll it.
Okay.
And we both have focuses for that?
Yes.
Xenobiology, yeah.
Okay. 2 successes, nicely done there. Okay, 3 successes, and it was a difficulty 2 roll. So, again, you've got momentum in the bank. You're able to, the 2 of you working together are able to narrow down a part of the RNA strand that, when deciphered, matches matches this spore's quantum signature, which, in a sense, means you kind of have a Rosetta Stone at this point, because here's part of the RNA that tells you what universe this strand came from. Looking a little further, there's information there, and if it were fed into the right type of system, your intuitive brain tells you would receive a set of coordinates from it. The question is what mathematics you would need to use to get that set of coordinates. And normal 4-dimensional math is not cutting it. Your brain is working through all the is working through, like, this math doesn't work in 4 dimensions, doesn't work in 5. You're getting up to 7 before the calculations start to get a little bit on the difficult side for you.
One moment, and I'm gonna close my eyes, and I'm gonna focus real hard, and I'm gonna pull up collective knowledge on temporal physics.
Ooh, okay.
You. Sapphic, noticing her doing this, Sapphic just mutters under her breath, "God, that's hot."
And as you're doing that, 19, that's when Bianca walks in.
Oh, hey, Captain. Yeah, sorry. I know she called you. She's helping with something. I don't know if she's all here. Or they're all here right now. Yes. We're
No,
trying
go
to.
ahead. Do
Yeah.
whatever you need to do.
We may have a location, Captain.
Good.
Yeah, you do have the spore's point of origin.
Excellent.
And on
Do
that
you
note,
want
I will
me to
be
make-
right
do-
back.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask if you wanted me to make a roll because I'm literally using like a beautiful mind to like figure just all those numbers floating around in the. When you can literally go, oh wait, I have a focus in this. It's
Damn, look at you though. Oh my goodness. What a good focus to have.
well, 25 years of other people in your head means that you sometimes remember.
It gives you a lot of information. So they can still connect to the board collective information then, or
Kind of. It's like unconscious, like subconscious memory. So it like takes a while to like.
oh, so not as fast like as a connected board. Just call it up then, right?
Yeah, basically, because like they're not connected to the collective anymore.
I'm back.
Yeah. Do you want me to make a roll to see if I pull up correct information?
I mean, I've kind of given it to you at this point, but yeah, if you want to roll for it, sure.
Just to, because I don't want to like Deus Ex Machina this like plot.
Well, you're not doing a Deus Ex Machina because you are using a talent that is specifically on your character sheet. So
That's fair. I just
on
wanted
that
to
basis,
make sure that you were cool.
I was going to let you do that.
Okay, if you're cool with it, then I'm cool.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. And you guys are topped out on momentum anyway right now. So
Okay,
so Bianca has walked into the room. You were vaguely aware of her presence, and then once you're kind of back, you're like, oh, the captain's here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like write down as much as I can, like into a pad of like what I can. It's just like ninth dimensional like bullshit, and it's just like all just like it's a mess, and it's just okay. Here we go. This is.
Yep.
I'll
Take this to
interpret this later.
astrometrics.
Yeah, basically. Lieutenant Madon, if you wouldn't mind taking this to astrometrics and to engineering, I'm sure that.
Yes, sure thing. Leave you two alone here for a sec. Take this to astrometric.
And then I'm gonna turn to the captain.
What have you got, 19?
I've determined the potency of the chemical agent that was used to eradicate the Ciatina.
And?
It is currently inert. It seems to have a very short half-life, approximately 30 to 32 minutes.
Bianca just nods and she'll be like, I'll let the other Ciatina ships and the Yorktown know that we are go to start collecting bodies then.
It is possible to synthesize a neuralizing agent. I will make that information available in case something were to incur, but it also has a similar habit.
So we need to act fast.
Well, I believe that they're safe to return. However, I am concerned about the dispersal method that this device may.
I'll make sure Yorktown knows to be on the lookout for any other such devices.
Captain, it was very similar to rudimentary Borg technology.
So are you saying that it was derived from Borg technology?
If not directly derived, inspired by.
These Mirror Universe bastards won't leave any stone unturned. All right. Well, I'll let Captain Styles know that and send them their chief medical officer the specifications for the antidote. They'll want to keep re-injecting themselves every half hour.
For perhaps the next 24 hours or so, just to be sure.
Yes, just in case there's another torpedo or whatever the hell they used as their dispersal method.
I will likely be synthesizing some for us as well, if we are to attempt this.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
I must admit, I'm not familiar with the dynamics.
Hey guys, I gotta go real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay, no, it's good.
Never mind.
Bianca vanishes as if by cue. No, I'm kidding.
Has this crew met a Q yet?
Yes.
Aw, dang, I missed it.
What was the question?
Have we met Q?
Oh, on a couple of occasions, yes. 19 has especially met Q.
Bad, man. Nobody likes.
You know, Don, if you're having problems hearing them, you might want to try turning up
They
their
are
volume.
already at 200%. I can't turn it
Oh,
up
so
any higher.
weird. That's so weird. Can anyone else? Does anyone else have problems hearing me? Or
I hear you fine.
I have quite a few problems.
Yeah,
I'll admit I have to strain to hear you at some points.
I've got pretty isolating earbud or headphones on, so I can hear you okay. But yeah, it is very quiet. Difficult to say if it's something with your audio driver or if it's something with your microphone setup itself, because it's seemed fine for the last couple of weeks.
that's so weird. Maybe I'll have to do something with my computer.
what kind of microphone are you using?
It's attached to my headset. It's a CloudX Stinger Revolver Road. So it's a pretty good headset. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's something with Discord. I don't.
No, I actually have had that headset before, so I can
Oh,
actually
okay.
help you here.
Oh, okay.
So give me 1 second. I need to find where that thing is.
Troubleshooting.
It's
Yeah,
the
I'm
best.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember where the frick Windows 10 moves all of its sound stuff.
Right.
All right, so what I'm gonna have you do is so right click on your little volume thing on your desktop, and then there's a thing that says sounds. Click that,
Hi, Rachel.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
and then
What's
you switch over to the tab that says recording.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's going with front mic? What the fuck is front mic?
The front mic is. Are you using a laptop?
No, I'm not. I'm using a desktop. Oh, yeah, the front mic is taking in very little sound. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so your front mic is like your webcam mic if you have one.
I don't. That's so weird.
All right, do you have another microphone on there?
It says microphone, Realtek high definition audio,
That
and then inline and stereo mic. Yeah? Maybe I don't have the drivers?
So, do one of them has a check mark on it, right?
Front mic does.
Which
So
is the
right
one
click the. Yeah, that's the one you're using. So right click that for properties.
Uh-huh.
All right,
And
back.
then-
Sorry, you guys.
No, it's
Fine.
everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, and then move over to levels, and then if you pull them all the way up to 100 if they're not there.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Oh my god, that is so much better already.
Is that better?
Whoa,
that's
too much.
Yeah. So
Yep.
scale it down just a wee bit, though.
There?
Yep.
Yep, I just have to turn your volume down now.
Sorry. Oh my god, that fixes so much. Thank you. So microphone boost, is that fine then? Or, because I did front mic instead of microphone boost. I don't know whichever.
I would say turn it down a little bit further. It's coming in really loud on our end.
Yeah.
Maybe about 75 or 50.
That was 75 before. Now it's at 6. The thing is, it started off at 50. Yeah, how's this? Is that better? Or
Yeah, that's
much
better. Is that
for
your
me.
normal speaking voice? Because if so, then it's perfect.
This is my normal speaking voice. Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh my god, that
Oh,
helps
alright,
so much.
floss them. Try again.
All right.
Oh.
There. Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh my god.
No worries.
Thank you,
Sometimes
Brian.
it's
You are our hero.
Great.
Sometimes it's the smallest thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the smallest little thing.
Okay, so where were
Okay,
we?
so, what was I saying? Oh, yes.
We were preparing inoculations.
Yes, so preparing an admittedly, I don't know much about this secondary universe or potential Borg activity within it, so I am unable to help you on that.
I've been there. And if my suspicions are correct, they probably wiped out the collective a long time ago.
Impressive.
Well, the Federations has had means to do it for decades. It's just, for ethical reasons, we have not. This other universe has no such sense of ethics.
That, in some ways, makes them somewhat admirable, I fear to say.
Just you wait.
Well, does Lieutenant Cardin know about this yet?
No. But he will at our staff meeting, which is coming up.
I will prepare a neural dampener for him. This will no doubt be unpleasant.
Yeah, probably not.
Afterwards, Captain, is there someone I can speak to about Starfleet's continuous and rather frivolous universal drift?
I think that probably is above my pay grade.
Well, it seems I will be writing letters.
Good luck.
Can I ask an out-of-character question?
Yeah. What you got?
So, the other universe, so their morals are slightly off from ours, right?
You could say that.
They're like the completely opposite.
So, like, how would that, like, because I would argue that, at least in this case of human beings, that our morals and our values, in a lot of cases, drove our advancement. How would that play out in the other universe then? Like
So, to give you an example, in the mirror universe, instead of... So when the Vulcans made first contact with Zephyr Cochrane on Earth, instead of shaking the Vulcan's hand, Zephyr Cochrane pulled out a sawed-off shotgun, shot them, and they took the Vulcan ship.
sounds about human.
That's what happened in the mirror universe with first contact.
So
There's-
just
So
a few slightly wrong things that happen in there. Okay.
It's amazing
Basically.
what kind of a difference a few slightly wrong things can make, though.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
brutal.
To quote one of the Terran Empire emperors, things like compassion and collaboration were viewed as dated morals that were more likely to get you killed than to actually do you any good. And so it became the strong must survive at any cost kind of thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's much more xenophobic, much more like take care of yourself kind of thing.
Much more paranoid place. Not a pleasant place to live.
No.
And ISS stands for international instead of united, right?
Imperial.
Imperial.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. That just one word makes so much more difference.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, instead of the Federation, the Mirror Universe has the Terran Empire, which consists predominantly of Earth and Vulcan and their vassal states, shall we say.
Vassal races, yeah.
Yikes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always fun. You want to play a space racist? You can play a space racist.
You mean a Klingon?
True.
Oh, harsh.
Did anyone else find it weird that Klingons in the first series looked like normal humans, just like, they're all black? In the next generation, they suddenly had that,
Oh, you just opened up a can of worms.
We're not gonna get
Yeah.
into that right
There's an explanation. We don't have time to get into it.
That's a whole thing.
It is
Yeah,
a
it's
story
something to
we
do
do
with
not
genetic
share with
modification.
outsiders.
There's the line.
Yep.
Genetic modification or something, right? I think.
We'll talk
There's-
about it later.
Yeah.
There's a whole that is
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Meeting.
Bianca's gonna go prep for the meeting.
Yes, which is where we go next.
Poor Reese is just like in mountains of paperwork and gets like a notification that he has to come to.
He's probably grateful. It means that maybe he can stop future paperwork.
Would they even call it paperwork in the 24th, 25th century?
No, they've evolved, and now they call it administrivia.
No.
Although
no.
I still call it paperwork, even though the majority of the paperwork I do is digital.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
still paperwork.
Yep.
It's kind of like that whole thing. We still say putting the cart before the horse, even though most people don't even put carts behind horses anymore. So
Exactly. True story. Okay, so
when Reese comes in, Bianca's gonna say, "Thank you for coming. I know you're probably really busy."
it's fine.
Is it though?
It is, and he just sits down. This is the whole staff, right?
I think it's all of the senior staff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Such as it is.
All right, Bianca's gonna get up and she's going to, stand by wherever the big screen is.
we'll say that the big screen is like just off screen on this shot, basically in front of the big window.
And Bianca just pulls up a file, and it's a big red Omega symbol. And she says, "All right, we have new orders given the confrontation that we had with the ISS Dauntless. They have absconded with the Omega stabilizing technology that was unique to Ciatina. And to put it mildly, that is a problem. Because Omega has the capability of destabilizing and causing irreparable damage to subspace across multiple universes. It has the potential to. And the fact that the Terran Empire is going to soon be playing around with Omega, and Omega technology does not bode well.
Spoilers, they're actually just getting Omega tech upgrades because they want that Mark 15 gear.
Right?
Star Trek Online humor there. I love it. All their technicians are down in the ISS Dauntless's main engineering doing the stabilization mini game.
They've got all their they got multiple computers using a macro to do it, so they don't have to.
Oh, that is evil.
But anyway, that is not tech. Obviously, that's not technology we want to have, and the Omega Directive supersedes all other direct stars, and we are to recover that technology at all costs. No plan is to out there or to wild for something of this importance. And I have already done some brainstorming as far as some plans that we might consider. First of all is interdimensional transporters. This is probably the riskiest plan. We would send Makos to recover the Omega technology and then destroy it. Or we can take the entire ship into the mirror universe using an Iconian gateway or a spore drive like the ISS Dauntless did. Those are obviously going to have their own complications.
And at the mention of the spore drive, Reese is just like, and I just want to say that on the moment that I sent our records back with our quantum entanglement communicators about the spore drive, I got yelled at by 12 angry admirals, got 2 messages from Franklin Drake, 1 from Temporal Investigations, and all my pizza delivery orders that had mushrooms on it are being subpoenaed.
Incidentally, Claude with DTI is a part of this conference, unless you specifically did not want her to be.
Oh, sure. She can Skype in. I don't care.
Well, I mean, kind of on the Dauntless, I think.
I didn't realize Claude was on the Dauntless. I thought Claude was on DS9.
You're right. Okay, scratch that. Never mind.
so many NPCs to keep
so
track.
many NPCs, so little time.
Captain, there is a potential way that I could, with engineering's help and Lieutenant Madan, we managed to isolate coordinates, and it is possible that I can configure the ship to simply, well, for lack of a better term, tear a hole into the universe.
Traditionally speaking, this is how the Mirror Universe tends to cross over with their ships. They've been able to create localized interdimensional portals.
I agree.
It seems much less
stupid.
I wasn't going to use that word.
Risky would probably be a more appropriate word in this situation. I definitely think that we're going to need the power of the Dauntless. They've had 2 days to look over the technology. I'm sure they're not wasting any time. At the very least, what we have on our side is they don't seem too keen on the happy principles of sharing. So I doubt that they've shared the technology with anybody outside of their ship's staff.
I've been counting on it, actually, number one. And to that end, I have also been putting out feelers to another ship that might be able to assist us. Now, if we do have a system to create interdimensional rifts, I want it to be able to work anywhere at any time. I do not want to be reliant on subspace phenomena or any sort of environmental conditions to make this work.
I will make sure that it is possible.
I'll dig through Starfleet records trying to figure out the methodology that the Terrans use.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, the Terrans often use interdimensional portals by manipulating environments. That's why they pop up so often in the Briar Patch.
The Badlands.
I don't want Badlands, whatever. Yes, the Badlands.
Yep.
That's what I actually said. But
it is.
I do not want to be dependent on such things, which is why I floated the idea of the spore drive in the first place, because it can be used anywhere.
I'm just saying that was the thing that got all those admirals to yell at me, and well, frankly, where 12 admirals are yelling at us, that usually means Styles will too, and frankly, I'm already busy writing a report of how much he shouldn't be in command of this expedition.
This is all, you know what? It's the Omega Directive. Like I said, no plan is too crazy.
Yeah, I'm under the impression there's some other directive about the spore drive they're not telling me. Because they seemed mad that I knew about it.
Well, I'm more than happy to give them our mycelium sample once we're done with it.
So, Captain, if we can't use a spore drive, and not that I don't doubt 19's capabilities, if those two plans fall out, and we're left with maybe using Iconian gateways, what is that going to mean for us? How many hoops are we going to have to jump through in order to be able to use one?
Let's just say that the spore drive would be a more concrete and solid plan than an Iconian gateway, because in order to traverse alternate realities with an Iconian gateway, you actually need an Iconian to operate the gateway.
That doesn't mean we can't call people at the Dyson spheres and see if they don't have some idea. And once we get on the other side, there's nothing that says we can't steal a Terran's portal generator.
That is true, but I want to keep this operation in the mirror universe as simple as possible. Get in, get out.
Well, we're already talking about accessing their computers and possibly wiping 2 days to several weeks worth of data, depending on how much time it takes us to get this set up. I don't think it's unreasonable to extend that slightly to a little bit of tampering with their onboard spore drive, see if we can get it to bring us back in the event of a problem. It's a long shot, but I mean, this whole thing is one big long shot.
Captain.
Yes.
What if we arrive and they've already managed to integrate the Omega technology?
That's why I'm looking at bringing backup.
Backup is good, but the particle is powerful. And admittedly, I have reservations about its destruction.
Well, to our knowledge, they have only stolen the technology. They have not managed to actually apply it yet. And it would take time to adapt it to their ship systems, but we are on a short timetable.
I have a question, Captain.
Yes, Lieutenant Cardin.
Do we know if time works the same here in this universe as it does over there?
As far as we know, it does. When I was over there, it was a few days, the same as it was here. That passed.
I would, however, like to point out that based on my discussions with temporal investigations, they were concerned about the spore drive being used for time travel. That may not be in play if they manage to use it to, say, go back a few days and give themselves a little bit of a head start on this research.
Well, from what I understand, the spore drive doesn't do time travel. It just does interdimensional interspace travel.
And because the Federation database records are so spotty on the matter, it's hard to know one way or the other.
Would they prioritize getting the Omega technology up and running over fixing their ship, or do you think they're going to be doing everything they can to get both running at the same time?
It's hard to say.
Could go either way. If they're desperate enough, they'll try and do both. If they think they've got time to work with, they'll try and repair the ship first, because who wants an Omega particle blowing up in their face?
Perhaps they also have allies that they can rely on and would focus on assistance in order to do either one or the other.
That's not a bad train of thought. Perhaps we could exploit it in the other direction. I'm sure the Terran Empire has enemies that would love to stop them from getting a hold of a vastly powerful technology. Is there anyone that we know of that we could contact over in their universe, maybe leak a little bit of information, at least exploit the chaos to help get our mission accomplished while they're fending off attacks from several fronts?
Yeah, another Terran.
I suppose so.
Captain, we're getting a hail from Starfleet Headquarters, Department of Temporal Investigations.
Put it on screen.
And on the screen is a grizzled old teal-colored lizard.
Rather familiar faces, some members of this crew, although more tired, older. Definitely less amused.
Titacheska?
I'm sorry, have we met before, Captain?
Reputation only, sir.
Very well. I presume I'm speaking with the USS Dauntless?
Yes, this is she. I am Captain Bianca West.
Captain West, I'm Admiral Titacheska. Obviously, my name precedes me. Captain, because of the situation on board, I was brought up to speed. I take it this was an incursion by the Mirror Universe for some sounds like Omega particles using a highly classified star drive.
They were using it appears to be a drive that navigates the mycelial spore network.
That's unfortunate. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't have all the information myself. No one does. The mycelial spore network is... misuse of it can lead to possibly death of all organic life in the universe. Potentially multiverse.
Well, we'll just have to make sure that they don't use it.
Indeed. Who's your current commanding officer?
I am.
Your current commanding officer, Captain.
My current commanding officer is Captain... what's his first name? I don't know. Captain
Lawrence
Styles.
Styles III.
Captain Styles? I'll let him in the future. I'm pulling you off of Captain Styles' purview. From now on, you're going to report directly to Starfleet Command.
All right. Noted.
I don't have time to explain or get into deeply, but this incursion is a possible Class X2 scenario. We're looking
Class
at
X2.
Yes. Means possible death of one universe, possible all universes.
Well, that's no pressure.
Indeed. And due to the circumstances of the situation, I'm going to invoke the authority invested in me by the Federation Council to suspend General Order 1. Captain, until this mission is complete, you have full authority to override the Prime Directive and all of its addendums.
What about the Temporal Prime Directive?
All of its addendums.
Understood.
One last thing. Your current mission parameters are to locate the ISS Dauntless, and destroy it. As well
Understood.
as neutralize the entirety of the crew.
Say that
If you
again.
can't
You broke
arrest, as well as neutralize the entirety of the crew. If you can, arrest them, bring them in for trial here in this universe. If you cannot, kill them. No information about the megaparticle or the spore drive may be accessible in the mirror universe. It is simply too high a risk.
Understood, sir.
Good. Now that I'm here, do you have any questions?
None that seem pertinent.
Do you have any way of getting into the mirror universe?
We're currently discussing options now. Problem is trying to create an interdimensional rift can be created on demand without any sort of spatial phenomenon present under any circumstance.
But access to uptime technology, that will be difficult. I have a suggestion, and given the peril of this mission, I think it may be prudent. I can have TI supply you with the temporal drive. And looking through your previous mission profiles, it looks like you were actually met with a Daniels and a interloper. Looks like he modified your quantum slipstream drive to be able to go through time. I can have some of my people send over some information, send over some data. You should be able to replicate that effect with minimal problems.
Understood.
I would suggest that you go back a couple hundred years and link up with the USS Discovery. They are the leading experts of the Spore drive, and they may be able to install a version of it on board the USS Dauntless.
Pardon me, sir, but wouldn't bringing a starship like Dauntless back into the 23rd century be a little contaminating?
Yes. However, we're looking at the possibility of all life ending everywhere, forever.
I mean, you said use of the Spore drive could destroy all universes.
Yes. But it's either using it or having the Terran Empire use it. I don't trust them to be responsible.
And
That's heavy.
As this conversation is going on, kind of as an inset, there is you see a diagram of like the mycelial network, and a small omega. The small omega detonates, and that explosion carries through the entire network until nothing is left.
And like she just gives a low whistle.
That is the death of all life. Perfectly honest, I don't know much about the Spore network. It is almost metaphysical at times. It was a man, Stamets, back in the day. He might be able to help you.
Yes, his name's come up in the research that I've been trying to do since we encountered the ISS Dauntless.
Mm-hmm. He'll probably be able to help you.
There's very little in terms of the research that still survives.
For good reason. Regardless, as I said, no information about either the Omega particle or the Spore drive may survive in the mirror universe. You have full authority to do whatever it takes, up to and including liquidating anyone who knows about it.
Understood.
Mm-hmm. Any further questions?
To be clear, I am clear to bring engineers from the 23rd century onto my ship.
Captain, you're cleared to do whatever it takes to protect all life forever. I want you to understand the gravity of the situation. The fate of the universe is resting on your shoulders.
Well, glad I'm being given wide latitude to do so, given the stakes.
Granted, we still expect you to maintain the parameters of the Prime Directive when you can, but you have to do what it takes.
Understood, sir. I'll do the best I can.
Good fucking luck. Starfleet Command out.
Oh my god, I love him.
Just several universes over, just there's occasion rubbing their
Wait, rubbing their what? Because that
their
last
temples.
Okay.
Their temples.
Because that last word cut off, and it could have been another word that started with T.
No.
That's how we roll on Dauntless.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that is an insane plan.
He seems significantly less agitated than last time we.
Or more.
He seems tired.
There is going to be an addendum that actually gets sent to you through text, asking you to not plug in your rescued Borg officer to the Spore network once it's online.
Aww.
for fear of Borg and nanites contaminating the mycelial network.
Oh my
That
god.
would be bad. Don't
Instant
simulate the
metaphor-
mycelial network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really bad.
Yeah.
Remember that time?
I've been-
Remember that time 19 of 30 became God?
You
How,
all
how
get
bad are we
assimilated,
talking
fuckers.
about? Well, there's total protonic reversal, but this is way worse.
Yeah.
I
Just
mean,
like a PPS.
I've been completely flushed of nanites, but yeah, that's. Or so we think, but yeah, that's just.
So we've gone from a recovery mission to a recovery plus mission.
No, just a liquidation mission.
Oh, that was in character.
Oh.
We're still not going to be able to do this alone.
No offense, we barely were able to handle the ISS Dauntless the first time. They kind of outgun us.
And this is when Bianca's going to turn to Anjar. She's going to be like, once we adapt a spore drive to work on Dauntless, do you think you could get it to work with a quantum singularity drive?
Dash is the expert on that. I'll have a talk with him. I'm sure that he won't be happy that we have a third engine mucking up the spaces down there, but between the two of us, we should be able to get it working just fine. Don't worry, Captain.
Once this is done, we're destroying it.
I would like to start evacuating non-essential personnel. I don't think we need to have the civilians on board for this kind of a mission.
Agreed. We'll have them evacuated to the station orbiting the Felothrene system until we get back.
I would also like to that to extend to also Starfleet officers who may not be essential on this mission. I don't think we're going to need diplomats or, say, a bunch of geologists who specialize in something really specific.
Mm-hmm.
Reasons like, or lawyers.
Also, I want to keep the Romulan engineers and the Klingon engineers and scientists, but all the rest, we'll keep Sysram on board, but the rest are going to potentially be complications as well. But I want as many bodies in science and engineering as possible on this one.
Understood. And I will be volunteering for tactical.
If you need any more help in engineering, I am fully capable of doing that, Captain.
I will do that. And then and Bianca just kind of contemplates the gravity of the whole like craziness they're about to launch.
And that
anyone
is...
who hold on
sorry,
1 second.
go ahead. Yep.
Anyone who wants to back out of this. I don't blame you.
I'm all in, Captain.
Don't look at me. I just got my desk organized. I'm not going to go get another desk.
I knew I
You
could
know
count
how-
on you.
Do you know how long it takes to familiarize yourself with the new ship? I think I'd like to stay and make sure this one doesn't blow up.
No offense, Captain. There's an old Andorian saying: if you're not willing to go into the ice fields at their coldest, you don't deserve to be on them at all.
To your stations.
Aye, Captain.
I
Aye,
want
aye.
I want
Aye,
the
Captain.
temporal coordinates for USS Discovery.
And I can bring those up, right? Because we already extracted that, I think, right?
The mirror universe coordinates, but we're going to be going back in time.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
We got to go back in time, and then we got to go into an alternate universe because crazy.
Yeah, I
Yep.
feel like that.
Technically, you have to travel
Why
through time twice. You got to go back, get the drive, come back, and then go into the mirror universe.
It's going to be very timey-wimey.
So we're taking a break
And-
now?
And yes, we're going to take 10.
Okay.
So everyone who needs to do the bathroom thing, get the water, whatever.
Can I? While this is going on, quickly 19 is gonna run to sickbay and make a thing for Jonas so his brain doesn't melt.
Doesn't explode. And Bianca's actually going to
chronoton
take
radiation
Jonas
treatment
aside.
might be good here, actually.
Yeah, and Bianca's going to take Jonas to the side after the meeting.
Yes, Captain?
Jonas, I know you're under a lot of stress right now. But this is going to be I'm not asking, I'm ordering. Don't listen. Especially not in the mirror universe.
I won't listen unless it's absolutely necessary, Captain. Helps us.
Don't listen unless I tell you to.
Can do that.
All right. I worry about you.
I know.
She just pats him on the arm.
Do you think the Ciatina will be all right?
You know, I thought about just going back in time and saving them all.
Honestly, I had the exact same thought.
You know we can't, though, right? Wait, am I there, or are you guys talking about yourself?
Oh no, we're talking amongst ourselves.
Okay.
That would create its own set of problems.
I know. Just thinking about it gives my head a headache.
Yeah. To your station.
Aye, Captain. And thank you.
Anytime. Are we taking a break now?
Yes,
Okay.
because I gotta pee.
Oh, yeah. I
Go
will do
pee.
that while they're talking. As soon as we said, now we're taking a break, they're
Okay, I'll be right back too. I need to run off.
Yeah, I'm getting water.
I'm chasing my cat around the apartment.
That cat is so cute. Like, oh my goodness. Just the sound of it. Oh my. As you two have serious conversations. Meow. Meow.
Yeah, he's a cutie pie, and he knows it.
He just wants love.
He really does. He's a lover boy, but his love sometimes he gets like really into it, and he starts biting you. I'm trying to break him of that. He's getting better, but
Bless. What a good cat.
He's a sweetie. Like, he's one of those that's always in your lap. Cuddle bug.
Is that cat plus dragon equals tiger?
Yes.
Damn, that's math.
I couldn't find better emojis, so I needed to use this.
Love it. What's your cat's name?
My cat's name is Riker. And then I've also got another cat, but she lives with my parents. Her name is Maverick. And Maverick is an orange chunk.
Yep.
What'd you name
Right. Riker is my tuxedo. He's a tuxedo with a little black chin spot. Yeah. Little black nose and little black chin spot. Yeah, that's you. Oh, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. He loves playing chase. Like he'll get in front of me and he'll just like hunker down. And then I'll just be like, oh, and I'll like lurch towards him and he like runs away. He loves it.
Also, did you guys hear that Captain Picard's getting his own spin-off series?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh my god.
I'm so ready for them to Luke Skywalker him. So ready for this.
You mean finding him on a desolate planet drinking blue milk?
Yeah, drinking fresh blue milk. Yep.
He throws his Resican flute over his shoulder.
Not Chateau Picard?
Also, has anyone seen Star Trek Discovery yet? Or
Yeah.
Yep.
is it any good? I haven't started watching it yet.
Season 2 is better than season 1.
Season 2 is so good.
Yeah, start with season 2.
Okay.
Start with season 2. Yeah, there's only 4 episodes so far, and it's
3.
really good.
No, there is 4. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need to catch
4
up.
as of yesterday.
I do need to catch up. I'll watch after we do this.
It was
Oh my god.
so good.
Episode 4 was so good, and I cried. Like, I was legit crying.
Okay, if they kill Sarah, I'm gonna be mad. I just got attached to him.
Spoilers, darling.
Spoilers. But watch the short trek. There's a short trek that's about Saru. Watch that first.
I would say all 4 of those are worth watching too.
I know about his
All
sister.
4 are worth watching, but that one is prerequisite, I
Where do you
think.
find those ones? Because I know how to find episodes of TV shows. I didn't know about the.
They're
it
also
is-
on.
They're under the Star Trek Discovery, so like if you go to TV shows, Star Trek Discovery, you have to like thumb down a little bit to find the short treks, but they're usually underneath like where you find season 1
Oh wait,
of
is there no,
Discovery.
Is there official place to watch? Because I pirate things illegally. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, CBS All Access. You can try it for free.
Right. Okay, yeah, CBS All Access. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's CBS All Access. You can try it for free and just
Or if
binge
you
the
have
4 episodes.
or if you have a friend, you can bump their account off of. That's why
I already have like
I mean,
3
everyone
people
fucking
bumming
does it
my
already,
account,
yeah.
or else I would bum my account again. But
I'll try the trial for now, the free trial.
You know, I was half expecting the meeting to take place on Earth. I don't know how, but I was expecting it.
yeah, we're only 9,000 light years away. It's on the way.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
You know,
Because then I could have shown off the picture of Ted with his wife.
Aw.
Aww.
It's
Wait,
the token,
wife.
it's the token
Wait, this-
het Ted.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Token head. No.
This really is a
I
dark
gotta look at
timeline. Oh God! Oh God! What if his wife is like Lasan? Or
No!
worse, Iris?
I could see Iris.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I would
Iris
feel
could
bad
be-
for Iris.
Definitely
No.
not on the Definian.
There's definitely one universe, and it's like the dark universe where Ted is Prince and Lasan is security officer, where Lasan, Safan, and Kalani are in a polycule, and it's just really dark and fucked up.
This would also be the timeline. This would also be the timeline where Mazaka is the doctor.
Ooh.
with the
What did I
TARDIS?
just walk back into?
Dark timelines.
Dark timeline.
Oh yeah. In this timeline, Ted's straight and has a wife.
Yeah, we found token hetero Ted. He's this.
Token hetero.
Yeah, but you know what that means? You know who Mazaka ended up marrying then.
Oh, Loren.
Oh, he did marry Lorraine.
Oh, that ended sadly.
Oh.
Were we talking to Prime Ted just now, or
No, Prime Ted is the best Ted.
Yeah, except no one knows exactly who Prime Ted actually is.
Yeah, we don't know who Prime Ted is because
I told you he's probably the most expensive and delicious one.
delicious?
Cough.
Do people eat whatever his race is, or
No. Wow.
maybe in the mirror
Consensually,
universe.
no.
essentially? Oh my
Mazaka just wipes his mouth. Was it good for you?
No! Why do you do this when I have to play your child? Why do you make me hear these words?
It's just a reminder of what the fuck Catharis had to put up with as a kid. That house was very open.
It was more open than Ted wanted sometimes.
Occasions, they don't give a shit.
Well, they do, and then they don't bury it.
Everything.
No, Finian's gotta do.
Okay, so before we do get started, guys,
Sorry, my dirty
I was like, wow, I
cat.
wasn't trying to be funny.
My dirty cat. I just looked over. He was doing that. Oh, are you gonna chase me? Are you gonna chase me thing? And he was just like, oh. And then he went run. He like went to turn and run away from me,
Uh-huh.
but he ran into the wall next to the door frame.
Nice job, cat.
He just like and just crumpled. He's such a derp. Sorry,
He
sorry.
is.
That was just really funny.
Let me get the opinions of the resident discovery experts here. I'm trying to think of a good time to insert the Dauntless, and I'm kind of thinking
After episode 2.
that's kind of my thought. Kind of after,
Yeah.
right after season 2, episode 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Captain Pike.
Oh, thank God, Ted
Because we
isn't
don't
there.
want the other guy. Because we don't want the other guy. We'd be like, we need to stop the mirror universe. The other guy would be like, oh, really?
You sure that's a good idea.
Lord was like,
I
tell
know-
me more.
Wait! You're telling me you guys come from a timeline where I died? Huh?
Spoilers. But no, I think the temporal coordinates we would be shooting for would be the star system deep in the beta quadrant where they were.
Which works because you guys are also deep in the beta quadrant right now.
Yeah,
Not that
and
deep,
then
though.
No, that is true. You can't get much further into the beta quadrant than they were. Like 50,000 light years. That's like edge of the galaxy
Yeah.
territory.
yeah,
Also,
so we would like just basically like target that system they were in
Mm-hmm.
before they left.
Okay, is everybody back, by the way? If you're not here, raise your hand.
Never heard anything
What
from Ben.
exactly is here? What does that mean?
Okay.
Sorry, what
do you see?
it cut out on my end.
Sorry, if you
Oh.
see Curland, you're here, and we can continue
Hang on.
I
because
see Ted. That's all I see.
because Curland is here.
Spaz. You're such a spaz. Yes.
If you see Curland, you are here.
I do,
Oh.
in fact, see Curland.
we all see him, behold him, and
In
I don't
his-
like how he's
behold him
looking
in
at
his
me.
here-ness.
Amen.
Who is undecidedly the most important person on DS9? He who shelters us from the harshness of the Gamma Quadrant, and to whom we owe everything, including our lives.
The
I don't
over
like
here.
how he's looking at me. Make him stop.
The Curland here. It even rhymes with overseer. That's great.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to roll control medicine so that I can give Jonas this thing?
Yes.
Yes, give John. And we also need chronoton radiation inoculations.
Yes, I will roll for all of that stuff.
Oh, also, do I have clearance to brief Pike on the Omega Directive? Because
if Ted were still here right now, I think he would be asking, "Did I fucking stutter?"
That's true.
You were given carte blanche to complete your objectives. Basically, get to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yay!
You might have to justify it though.
Just make sure there's people around
funny,
to
Adcon.
just make sure there's people around to justify it too.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
Well, and the thing is that like knowing what Starfleet knows about Pike, he's not going to just be like, "Oh yeah, sure, you can dick around with my ship."
It's not even his ship.
For now, it is.
Anyway, there are your rolls. So Jonas gets a headache relieving.
Oh, yes, he does.
And I've made some stuff to make people not vom from chronotonic radiation.
And also not die, which is fantastic.
Yes.
We're not going to turn inside out, but from vomiting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready.
I think so.
Captain West Engineering.
Dash here.
Make sure the quantum slipstream drive is ready for these temporal coordinates.
Aye, Captain. Preparing slipstream drive for temporal transit.
Mr. Carden, you know what to do.
Hi, Captain.
Okay.
Activating slipstream drive.
This is going to be the same roll that we made earlier, so it's going to be structure con for Dauntless, control con for Jonas. The difficulty is 4.
Ooh, please buy die.
I would like to take a momentum for an extra dice for cautious.
You've got it.
And I'm also going to assist with my direct action.
Okay, so you'll be using control command.
And all right. Boom, baby. Reroll that goose egg.
I do get cautious. Did you give me the ability to also reroll?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I can reroll both of those.
You can reroll both.
You can reroll both. Yep.
Okay, 6 successes. Nicely done. We'll replace one background image here with another. Give me just a moment. So you guys take off from the Fellathrix star base, as it were, and Jonas, you punch in the coordinates, and Dauntless jumps to temporal slipstream.
And meanwhile, Bianca is going to be reading up on the file of the Discovery's crew during this time.
Okay. What are you looking for specifically?
Well, I mean, the people who she's probably going to be interacting the most with, and trying to get a sense of who she's going to be dealing with, because she's going to have to convince them to help them. You know what I mean?
Yep. Okay, so there are a couple of Give me just a second. There are a couple of personnel who you're going to be interacting with almost by default. From this period in its logs, Discovery was captained by Christopher Pike, who was there on a temporary duty assignment. The nature of that assignment is not specified in the logs, and he is generally known as the captain of the USS Enterprise during this time period. The second name is Stamets, as you know. Let me pull some information up here. He operates engineering on the Discovery. I think he's technically the chief engineer, but
No, he's not.
I didn't think so. Damn it.
No,
Yeah, Paul Stamets.
Yeah, no, he's a scientist. He's like a mission specialist.
Okay.
But because remember in the most recent episode,
Right. Yeah.
what's her name? The engineer said that the chief engineer had asked her to come down there.
Okay, that's what I thought. We hadn't seen anyone else down in main engineering, which is weird.
So FYI, Don, the two people who we absolutely do not know of is who is the chief medical officer and who is the chief engineer.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because, well, their CMO is dead.
Well, no, he wasn't the CMO either.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
Nope, he was not the CMO.
The third person of interest would be Discovery's first officer, a member of the race known as Kelpians. This individual was named Saru. One of the really noteworthy things about this species is it has an ability to kind of forecast death, as it were. They have a sensory organ that helps them with that. And then Discovery's chief science officer is an individual named Michael Burnham. Female human raised on Vulcan.
I'm going to forward these personnel records to the first officer, engineering staff, and science staff.
Okay.
Just so that they can kind of get an idea of who they might be dealing with.
Okay. Is there anything else that you guys are doing? Because this slipstream voyage, given the time and the distance that you guys are traversing, you guys are going to be in slipstream for about a day and a half. This is going to be Dauntless's longest voyage in slipstream to date.
Yeah, and plus we're going back in time.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Dash secure files on the quantum slipstream drive and anything that's more advanced than just the basic warp drive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Secure that for security clearance levels, basically like engineering officers on the Dauntless and above.
Yeah.
So that no one can just look at that shit.
Right.
Just from a standpoint of, in the interest of preserving the timeline.
Temporal security. Got it.
Pretty much. Just kind of taking those measures across the ship. And she's going to probably delegate that to Bosch. To just secure essential systems and non-essential systems that could potentially be contaminating.
Yeah, we're holding meetings with all the department heads, getting the duty roster organized so that we keep as few people on each station as possible to to avoid interactions with anybody from the past, and of course clearing corridors, specifically from the closest one to the transport or to the engineering section, clearing corridors from the transport room to there so that we can have a minimum of interaction.
I'm also going to ask the captain if I have permission to instill any sort of extra plating on the hull or any kind of help with shields, or finally, please God, can we get a fucking cloak going on this?
What I will do, because Anjar has a device that can disrupt sensors.
That is correct.
So I want that to be programmed so that Discovery can't get a good scan of us.
As a backup plan, Captain, may I also suggest that we pre-program the ship's hollow emitters to, I don't know, make us look like an asteroid or something?
Well, they know they're going to be on board. They know there's going to be a ship.
Right, I'm saying we could use the holographic projectors and fake being an asteroid or something, so that they think they're like, oh, it's just an error in our systems. I mean, we're 150 years more advanced.
Well, yes, but they're going to be on board the ship, so there's no point in making us look like an asteroid when they're going to be actually on the ship.
Except maybe to fool them from getting sensor scans. I think that might be where Brian's going with that.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with
Okay.
it. Avoiding temporal problems.
Well, I mean,
just because it's
knowing what the ship looks like, I don't think that.
Yeah.
But they can't get a good scan of us. That's the.
Okay.
I think we don't need to fake being anything because they're going to know that there's going to be there's an advanced ship.
But I'm also worried about mirror universe weaponry punching through us
Well, we can work on that concurrently.
Good.
Because we do have that whole fragment of Zealand in the cargo hold.
You do. Actually, I thought you guys had turned that over for research.
As far as I know, we still have it.
Okay.
Or at least we still have samples of it. We might have turned some of it over for research purposes, but we still have some. I would think we still have some on board that we're researching.
Jonas would be offering.
Took a pretty sizable.
Sorry, go ahead, Journey.
I was going to say, if Jonas isn't needed the full time at his station, he'd be offering his help down in engineering with whatever they would need. And if they don't need his help, he would be in his quarters meditating for what's coming because he's going to need all the mental fortitude he can.
All right. But yeah, just basically making the ship ready for the first phase of the plan, which is the temporal incursion.
Okay. All right, so let's start with that Zealand plating. Who wants to work on that?
Is that something I can work on?
It is. Yeah, this is a science/engineering project.
Okay, so I could. Who's the chief engineering officer?
That would be Dash, the Tellarite, the oddly cheerful Tellarite.
Well, I have a. Well, I think one of my talents is collaboration, so I think I could probably work with them.
Okay, yeah. What collaboration does is, if you spend a momentum on the roll, instead of buying another die with the momentum, you can give your science score and one of your applicable focuses to another character.
Okay, so since it's an NPC, I probably couldn't do that.
You absolutely could do that.
Okay, do I have applicable focus? Oh, I don't. Oh my goodness, all my focuses are. Actually, encryption wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, all my shit's like xenobiology,
Your
xenozoology.
xenobiology focus does apply here.
Oh, okay, then I think I'll do that collaboration and using the xenobiology focus.
Okay. In that case,
And I think Jonas said he was.
Okay.
said he was what?
I think Jonas was gonna offer to help too. I don't know.
Yes, I think
Maybe
so. Jonas, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can help anywhere they need me.
Okay, why don't we have you assist Safik on the Zealand research versus having Dash assist, because Dash is going to be busy with probably about 5 other things.
Okay, would anything I have in focuses apply here?
Well, I will tell you that Safik's xenobiology focus applies. And she
Okay.
is using the collaboration talent to give you that focus for this role.
Okay.
In addition to a science score of 4 versus 2.
Yep, that's good.
So you'll be assisting her. You'll both be rolling reason science. You both have an applicable focus.
What's the challenge rating of or complication range?
The difficulty here is going to be 2. And the complication range is normal. It's just 1.
Okay, so for this, I need to change my science score to a 4.
Yep, and then change it back to a 2 when you're done. Okay, nice. Safik made the difficulty, and you got the momentum back. Okay,
And
so...
just so you get... So, because I think I might need to do a roll on this, but Bianca is going to spend this time actually reviewing and trying to gain insights into Captain Pike's file.
Okay.
Basically, commander to commander type of thing.
Gotcha.
Just kind of, she wants to because she obviously knows that Pike is like a very well regarded and very like decorated Starfleet captain.
Yep.
But she kind of wants to know more about the man himself and like kind of what she's going to be dealing with.
Gotcha. Okay, so what we'll come back to this, but what we'll say is that you're going to study the file such that you will have an advantage on any sort of like social conflict.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Now, getting back to the Zealand mineralogy research, what you are able to find is this is an organic, non-replicatable compound. It is, in essence, grown using processes that, to be honest, you haven't seen before. You're not familiar with how someone might grow a material thick enough to withstand not only ship combat, but to withstand ramming other vessels. The only thing that stands out, other than that, is that the compound appears to have a germanium base.
Hey, if Tassel is with them, Tassel would be like, "Hey, didn't the what were they called? The Herc?
Yes.
Didn't they need germanium?"
They didn't need germanium, but their starship hulls had that as a compound in those as well.
Mm. And didn't we like take pieces of that?
No.
Oh,
No, if I remember correctly, everybody was needing to be teleported out because all of the Herc were waking up.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, I got traumatized.
Yep.
You and Jonas both.
So it's a non-replicatable substance.
Yes. Which means the Zealand themselves would be a source, or if you could replicate their production methods somehow, you might be able to grow more of this compound.
Do we have any information on the Zealand?
What you guys have on the Zealand is very limited. You have a couple of starship schematics from having fought with them on one occasion. Diplomatic relations with the Zealand have been cool. They're not hostile, but they're very xenophobic. They do keep to themselves.
Unless we can get a look at how they grow this stuff, it's not going to be useful to us right now. Though it's actually really interesting that they grow this to begin with. What do you think, Lieutenant Madon?
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't even begin to know. Like, this stuff is. I'm pretty sure it grows in the space between, universes, right? Like this mycelial network. Like, I wouldn't even begin to know where to grow this stuff. Actually, would I be able to roll to check that? Maybe.
What are you trying to look at?
He was asking about how they grow the.
Well, how they grow the armor.
Oh, the armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I roll to check that? Because I don't know personally, like as the player.
No, I get what you're saying. You could speculate, but the fact that it is grown is about the limits of where the speculation could carry you, without taking time that Dauntless doesn't have right now to do research into basically reverse engineering the material.
Okay, so I don't know. Honestly, like I want to take a closer look at this after we get back from both time traveling and universe hopping, because bioorganic technology this stuff's pretty advanced. But I mean, if you want to sit there while I research it later, I mean.
Yeah, I would be very interested in helping you out with this.
Yeah. Honestly, though, like.
We might just look at doing like regular ablative armor.
Yeah.
If it's going to take too long to figure out the Zealand armor.
Just strap more vests to your vest.
There is
clicking all the buckles.
There is a point where you start hitting diminishing returns, though.
Hitting what?
Yeah.
Diminishing returns, like
Right.
trying to slap more armor onto Dauntless's hull means you will lose something in return.
Well, does Dauntless have ablative armor already?
No, it does have rugged design, which I think might help with its ability to withstand damage, but it has improved hull integrity, which gives it +1 resistance.
We'll be fine.
Right. I mean, we can't always tap into the Project Full Circle files and get some ideas on ablative armor. So
it's at this moment 19 wishes they had tubules so that they could just assimilate the ship.
I knew it.
Wait, it's what we're looking at. It's organic, right? Is it living or is it inert right now?
It is. It's organic, but not alive. It's like your fingernails.
It's like your hair. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna try
only thousands of times thicker. Or stronger. Not thousands of times thicker, just thousands of times stronger.
It's like it's like a carapace on a beetle.
Yeah. Or spider silk, if you could like
Yeah, I was thinking
make a
spider silk.
meter, like layer that a meter deep, a meter thick, and
Yeah, like
just having with the tensile strength that you're talking about having there.
that's what I was thinking. I was like spider silk.
Yeah.
Look, we just wrap the ship in bubble wrap.
It'll be fine.
What we
Somebody
need to do,
get the foam.
we just get some of those old cell phones from the early 2000s, cover them,
Oh my god, the
cover the ship
Nokias.
with them. Yeah, the ones that
Just cover the Dauntless in Nokia.
Why does the
It would be
Nokia make our communicators?
indestructible. We would be so even more OP than we are currently.
No. What you do is it's a layer of Nokia phones and then a layer of NESs on top of it, and then another layer of Nokias.
Oh my god. Okay. Well,
So we're just kind of keeping busy until we're.
yeah.
I'm also-
do I have
I
to
would-
do rolls on insight or whatever for my?
Let me take a look at what we might have you do here.
I would also be doing more research on this mycelium,
Okay.
just to like understand, like, because I did a scientific study. I would also be doing like medical scans of it
Okay.
and like figuring it out and trying to extract as much information as I could so that I can present it to this spore expert and be like, here's the data you need.
And as we're traveling, I also want to start researching this armor.
There is also something that kind of just a little like addendum that I want to put out that's basically like, do not tell Stamets that his research is basically useless. Like, don't like
Stamets, you suck.
just be like, we have come up with alternative forms of propulsion. Just kind of like avoid any type of like
Bianca sends
he's
out
gonna
a
be
memo.
like, he's
Please
gonna be like,
don't
what
get
do you mean?
Stamets started.
Right. Don't get Stamets started, but also just like it can really hurt someone if there's like, you mean you're from the 25th century and you have never heard of my work?
I mean, we've heard of it. That's
That
why we're
basically-
here.
That's or like his work didn't stick over the
Yeah.
long term. Like I
mean,
can see that
yeah.
being a little bit of a sore
Ego
spot.
deflating.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Stamets, though.
just like if he asks the question, try to sidestep it.
Okay, so for your personality study, Bianca, let us have you do. Yeah, I'm going to go with Insight Command.
Okay.
I'll say your diplomacy focus will apply here.
Okay. I'm going. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty here is going to be 2. Because
Alright, I'm
you're
just gonna
taking
take a
time. You're
momentum
taking
for-
time to do quite a bit of research, but the fact that you're taking time actually reduces the difficulty a bit. And you're taking
Okay, I'll
one
take
for
a dice,
cautious
just-
command. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Boom.
4 successes. Okay.
I've got a floating momentum to ask a question.
You do. Would you like to ask a question?
Well, once I figure out what I know.
You've got a complete personality profile. The man was decorated for valor several times over. Apart from the year that or so that he was on the USS Discovery, he was also captain of the Enterprise for several years. Made first contact with the Telosians, who were later quarantined. But his former first officer, Spock, returned him to Talos 4, roughly 10 years after the events, 10 years after his tenure on the Discovery. sometime in between, it looked like in the early 2260s, he was badly injured while on service on a Class J starship, one of the older Federation types. It was exposed to near lethal levels of delta radiation, which left him wheelchair bound.
Yeah, she just kind of nods and strokes her chin, but
personality-wise, he was very outgoing, very personable. Had a led from the front. Had a kind of an inspirational leadership style. Wasn't the type to bark orders or to tell you this my way or the highway. Sought input from his fellow officer or from the officers who served under him. And usually went with their suggestions, but once he had made a decision, he was not likely to change course.
And she's basically like, so he's someone that she's going to be able to work with.
Yes, he is probably everything that Captain Styles isn't.
And she's going to so for the free question, can she kind of get a feel for how well she and him would get on, as far as like how their personality types would mesh? Like what kind of how should she present in order to get the best possible results from him?
Straightforward. She should say she should be honest with him, because he's not going to believe a lie anyway. But he'll believe a hard truth if it's
she
presented.
Wasn't planning on lying to him.
Well, yes, he'll believe a hard truth if it's presented. If you try to obfuscate, he will simply dig down and get the information he wants one way or another anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's fairly by the book, but has been known on one or two occasions to bend the rules slightly.
Sounds like her kind of guy, to be honest.
There are a couple of spots where his career record is kind of reminiscent of a certain Captain Santiago's.
And with that, Bianca is satisfied with her analysis. She thinks that she's going to be able to get him to cooperate fully with what she has in mind.
Okay. So, who was up next? 19, you had mentioned some spore research. Sapphic, was there something you were going to be working on?
Yeah, I wanted to research that armor to see if it's possible to replicate however it is, how the process to grow it, if that's even possible in the current period in time.
Okay. Let's do that then. Let's do that one first, because this is going to be relatively quick. It's going to be an insight science roll. Difficulty is going to be 2.
Okay. Do I have to click the complication range for that, or is it
Nope.
just there?
It's just straight up. Well, yeah, you got it.
Sweet.
You have seen processes in nature by which incredibly strong materials can be fabricated. The problem is you don't have a spider or a silkworm big enough to do it for this.
So it's not able to be replicated through an inorganic kind of process then, like
It's replicated organically, probably through some form of insect-like means similar to the production of silk or spider silk or what have you.
okay. So I'm just gonna note that down for later uses.
Which in turn means the Zealand probably have a creature that they have either bred or genetically engineered specifically to produce this armor.
Like on a mass level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's the goal in like the current period of time in real life, like to be able to do that.
Like, as soon as I have a moment, you're gonna be my new
That's probably quite light too.
Yeah, spider silk is generally pretty light.
Yeah. Well, and because of the successes that you got and that you've built up from previous roles, I will tell you it is probably the best method that they could have devised, given that parts of the nebula are dense enough that that deflector shields wouldn't function.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So they designed their ships with armor in lieu of shielding for areas of the Carina Nebula where shielding just wouldn't have worked.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna record this data and then and when I have time, relay that to who was asking about that. Was it Jonas or?
Yeah, Jonas was curious about how they might grow it.
Yeah, I'll basically just jot this down and send it over to.
Cool.
And be like, yo, this is the I was researching that armor. This is what I came up with.
Now I'm gonna get to play with some mushrooms.
Now you get to play with some shrooms, man. Fucking shrooms. Sorry, I'll shut up.
It's all good. Give me that good shroom knowledge.
What do you what is it you're trying to discern?
I want to discern if it is part of a known fungus in this universe.
Okay.
Or anything like that. I want to determine potential interconnectivity with other life forms. And I want to be able to pinpoint, like, this is where it came from, this is how we use it, this is, like basically, like, the genetic structure, even, like, break it down even further so that if I interact with Stamets, I can just, like, point at it and go, this is where we need to go.
Okay. So you're doing some fairly in-depth research into this mycelium, breaking it down on almost a molecular level. Well, not almost.
Yep.
On a molecular level, attempting to discern, number one, what universe it came from, number two, maybe what part of the universe it came from.
If it's potentially hostile,
okay,
all that kind of, like, all that stuff, because it has traces of the mirror universe in it, how it picked up these traces. Like, I'm trying to follow the life cycle of this thing and all that stuff as best as I can.
Okay. I'm going to set your difficulty at 4.
Cool.
Although, let me check your talents real quick, because I think Studious... Oh, no, that's different. No, Intense Scrutiny will...
It's an extended task.
That's an extended task. That doesn't apply. Okay. I will let you use your biometric sensor implant to reduce the difficulty by 1. So it'll be difficulty 3 roll instead of difficulty 4. You'll be using Reason Science.
Okay.
Xenobiology focus will very much apply.
I would like to buy...
You would like to buy a vowel. Okay.
Yes, I would like to buy a vowel.
The starship...
I mean, she's a doctor, so that's more of... I would like to buy a bowel, so...
No!
Hey,
Reese gets kicked out in airlock.
I hear Captain Fang has one for sale.
And I would like to... actually, no, I'm not going to spend a determination yet. That's fine.
Dauntless can assist on this with sensor science.
Okay, someone can roll for Dauntless.
I'll roll Dauntless. I haven't rolled Dauntless today.
Please succeed.
Sensor science.
Yes.
She is good at the science.
Yes,
Yay!
she is. All right. This particular mycelium fungus, this particular organism, grew in the mirror universe. However,
Okay.
there are indications based on other RNA strands that you've captured in this sample that the plant itself, the fungus itself rather, grows across universes. It is a multidimensional fungus.
Okay.
It is not inherently hostile that you can determine.
No evil mushrooms. That's good.
No evil mushrooms. At least not for you guys. Anyway, what other questions were you looking to answer with that roll? Because
just like its genetic makeup and
Okay.
The full like RNA sequence and everything.
okay, the RNA you have managed to sequence, which has given you the point of origin.
Okay.
Additional strands of RNA may actually help may verify the point of origin and may help determine where else the ISS Dauntless has been. You may actually be able to build a trail off of this.
Ooh, yes, excellent. I like that. I'm gonna sit down and make and focus and make up as best I can.
Okay.
Who needs sleep? I have science to do.
Look at you still talking when there's science to do.
Did you really just compare 19 to GLaDOS?
Am I wrong?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay, so does anyone else have anything that they would like to kind of suss out of the way before we drop into the next scene?
I think we're
Let's
good.
do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, going once, going twice. Oops. I have to click, then drag. All right.
Ooh.
Let's just move you out of the way for right now. You guys come out of Slipstream near a neutron star. Not too far off from the temporal coordinates, just a few light years away from the Terralesium system, which is where the discovery was supposed to be right around this point in time.
Do we have them on our sensors?
That is an excellent question. Who would like to find out?
I could.
Okay.
If somebody else wants to, because I've rolled a lot. If somebody else would like to roll.
This has been kind
Nah,
of a
it's your-
science-heavy episode. You're good.
So that would be science and what?
It'll be reason and science. I'm going to make your difficulty 2 here because of the interference from the neutron star, but you've already made that with 1 to spare. You guys can roll sensors science for the Dauntless if you want to try and generate a bonus momentum.
Okay, I'll roll it.
Okay. All right.
And nothing for Dauntless right now, but
no worries there.
Sapphics got it.
Discovery is about 20 light years out. So not far, given the neighborhood. They are in orbit of a Class M planet, which has... You're getting conflicting readings on the number of rings. First it's saying 2, and now it's saying 1 ring.
Whatever that's about. Are they within comms range?
You'll have to boost the signal to get over the neutron star's interference, but you should be able to do that.
All right. Try and get us closer so that we can compensate for the interference a little bit.
Will do, yeah.
And Bianca's going to turn to Bosch and she's going to be like, "You and your little contraption are up."
Hi, Captain. We'll get it done.
All right, let's take a look at the notes on this. All right, let's...
I'm so sorry. What did I miss? I had to step away for a minute.
Oh,
no,
no
we
worries.
we just got to the top.
We just... the Dauntless just dropped out of temporal slipstream.
We're going to want to
guys are
get
near
you
a
within
neutron star.
transporter range, so just... so Bianca's going to order Jonas to bring us closer to the Discovery.
Okay.
So that we're within transporter range.
Well, you guys are several light years out at the moment.
I know,
Okay.
but that's why I'm asking Jonas to
Gotcha.
move us.
Gotcha. Just making sure. As for the dark matter thingamajiggy, let's make that a daring engineering task. Difficulty 2 and complication range of 2.
Okay.
Take momentum if you want it.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Seems like a good time to do it.
Okay.
So roll for 3. No focuses for this one that I can tell. All right.
Nope.
Here you go.
Go.
Okay.
Do you have cautious engineering?
He has bold.
Let's see. I do have a bold engineering.
Which would only
boo.
apply if you had taken threat. The kind of the good news, if there were to be any good news, is the effect of a complication here is spelled out in text. So I'm not...
Okay.
So all it does is it increases the difficulty for the Dauntless's sensors by 1.
Also, does the ship roll for this as well?
No, because it is not technically a ship's system.
Okay.
The other downside to this, however, is because you did not hit the difficulty, this is going to affect Dauntless's sensors, but not Discovery's.
Great.
Oh, can't get them all.
Is there anything else that we can do?
Holographic emitters might be a backup option here.
Okay. Holographic emitters online.
You could at least look like a 23rd century vessel.
Yeah. Let's do Constitution class.
Okay. You guys are just going to have to imagine a Constitution class, because I do not have a Constitution class ready to go. Sorry.
That
I'm
is
not
okay.
able to assist there!
How dare you not have everything planned out that we can possibly...
I know, I am a horrible GM.
No, seriously, Don, I'm not kidding. I can actually assist there.
Okay, shoot me the image. We'll do that.
1 second.
Okay.
We push the button and the holographic emitters like flicker for a minute because like they have to power up.
Right? They're like, what the hell? We weren't ready for this shit.
Did someone remember to change the double A's?
They're lithium batteries. They should be good for 10,000 light years.
I told you not to cheap out on the space tire rotation. God! This is why you don't go to Jiffy Dilithium.
Oh, too fun.
Oh, I'm gonna have to pass myself off as some sort of ooh.
Like a
Oh,
Cyberman or something.
yeah.
They come from Undas.
Alright.
I mean, thankfully, Discovery has some people with augments, so it's not.
That's true. They've got a cyborg on their freaking bridge.
Yeah, just explain you're some kind of android.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
Just be careful if there's a ensign named Jim Kirk who like starts trying to cause you to have a paradox, because he's really good at those.
We're not quite there yet.
Alright.
Boop. Boop.
Look what we got.
Cute
They're gonna be
little-
able to tell we're big though. They're gonna be like, this is only gonna go so far.
Okay.
That's fine. It's mostly for other ships that might see us. Not that any will, because we're this far out. But...
Right? Yeah, basically. Alright.
It's part of the reason we
So,
picked this spot.
Disguise is in place. You guys are en route to Discovery's location.
All right, hail them.
Hi, Captain.
Channel open.
USS Discovery. This is Captain Bianca West of the Federation starship Dauntless. We come requesting your assistance.
Dauntless. This is USS Discovery. You're a long ways out from home, Captain.
More than you know. Captain Pike?
In the flesh.
We are going to need access to your spore drive technology. And we will be needing to install a spore drive on our ship. But I think that we should meet to discuss the parameters of my mission.
I think we are absolutely going to have a couple of conversations based on what you just told me in the last 15 seconds. Why don't you meet me on my ship?
Of course. That would be preferable, actually.
Look forward to it. Discovery out.
All right. And then she's going to just nod at the transporter operator at the back of the bridge. Prepare to transport me aboard Discovery.
Oh, she's not even gonna change uniform.
Nope. No.
You're not going to put on the 60s skirt?
Don't give her ideas. She might.
For the love of, they just introduced a Discovery Scant last episode with leggings.
Is anybody going with you, Bianca? Or are you going into the Lion's Den alone?
I am going to I'm going to minimize impact here. I'm basically going to be going to Pike and saying, this is what's going on, and this is what we need to do, and this is what's actually happening.
Yeah, but are you going alone?
Yes, because I don't want. Because one person going over is less risky than multiple people going over.
Okay.
And I'm not changing uniforms because I intend to lay it all out there.
Okay, well, you've got the coordinates. You've given the order, so the ensign back by the transporter panel moves the sliders up. The same sliders that have been in every Star Trek series since the original. And
Yeah. Change what works.
yeah, well, and especially when it's an homage. And the bridge of the Dauntless fades out. You find yourself in the transporter room of the USS Discovery. And since we started a little late, I'm going to run us just a little bit late, probably till half past the hour, if that's all right with everyone.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. And who greets me?
It is Christopher Pike and his first officer, Saru.
Describe Saru for those who don't know.
For those who don't know, Saru is about 6'8", very slender. His features are rather bony, I guess, for lack of a better word. I think maybe the easiest thing I can do is get an image.
He's tall, gangly, actor
Very.
Doug Jones in heavy makeup, bright blue eyes.
Is there any other type of actor Doug Jones?
Yeah.
Actor Doug Jones in no makeup.
No such thing.
Oh, no, there is, and he's actually pretty adorable in that, too.
But there's an image of Saru for anyone who wants to see it.
Yeah.
But Pike steps forward, offers his hand.
Bianca shakes it firmly. Captain, I was hoping I could speak to you alone.
Well, anything you can say in front of me, you can say in front of my first officer. But let's go to my ready room. Don't need to discuss things here.
Of course, sir.
All right, let us.
I'm just imagining short Bianca next to tall Saru, and it's really good.
Bianca's not that short. She's 5'7".
Okay,
Oh,
so she's almost up to Saru's shoulder, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, not quite.
All right, let's see here.
No, Bianca is 5'7".
Isn't that about how tall Michael is?
I don't know how tall Sonequa Martin Green is.
Okay, that's fair. Me neither.
But Bianca is much more curvy than Michael would be.
Duly noted.
Okay, it's really weird that her height is literally the second thing on Google, but it's 5'4.5".
Oh, okay.
So she's taller than Michael.
A little taller, yeah. So anyway, you guys walk through the bridge into the ready room. And Pike kind of motions to you to have a seat as he walks around his desk. Kind of leans up, or kind of leans back and says, "All right, so why don't you start by telling me about your fancy uniform and how you know about our spore drive?"
I'm not going to split hairs, Captain. I am from the year 2410.
This kind of gets his attention, and he sits up.
Also, in 10 years, it'll all look like the 1960s, I swear!
It's a great motif. And Saru just kind of is taken aback. But Pike seems to be taking this in stride. Go ahead.
Bianca has brought a pad with her.
Mm-hmm.
Also 2410 technology. And she goes, the information that I have to disclose to you is classified captains and above. Which is why I was hoping to speak to you alone, sir.
Well, you're in luck. Saru here happens to be Discovery's full-time captain. I'm on an assignment here, but once I'm done, Saru will be in command. So, like I said, anything you can tell me, you can tell him.
Of course. I also have contamination of timeline to consider. So the fewer people who know about this, the better.
Pike considers this for a moment, looks over and slightly up at Saru and says, Saru, you can keep a secret, right? Of course, Captain. We both have clearances. We both serve Starfleet. We both know what General Order 1 is, and just got done executing it.
Sir, frankly, this goes above General Order 1.
I'm listening.
And as I said, the fewer ears, the better. It's not that I do not trust Commander Saru. I trust you to disclose to him what you deem necessary. However, I want you to use your best judgment on that, given what I am about to reveal.
Captain West, Bianca. If you are from 2410, that means you came here from 150 years in the future to ask for my help.
Actually, I came here to ask for Stamets' help. But since he is under your command. And Bianca is going to...
Do you trust your crew, Captain?
Implicitly.
Same way I trust mine. Now please, carry on.
And she just kind of breathes and she inclines her head to Saru. She goes, my apologies, Commander Saru. I did not bring a pad for you. However, and she just slides the pad across the ready room table, and it just has the big red Omega on the screen.
I have... so slides it to who? To Pike or to...
To Pike.
Okay. Says, okay. Omega, 26 letter of the Greek alphabet. Actually, let me do a little bit of research here as a GM for one moment.
We actually checked the chat. We've been doing it.
Yeah, we've been doing it for...
Have you? Bless you guys.
Yes. Just to be clear, I had to accidentally research this for my campaign, if you read the citation on what I just posted.
Okay, so I figured we weren't quite there yet, but I knew we were somewhere near. Okay. Big red letter Omega. Okay.
So, how many years is it until they do that experiment?
11.
About 11 years into the future from now, Starfleet will discover and start experimenting with a particle called Omega. It is a code name. It is a particle that is extremely unstable and of almost infinite energy. However, during the course of the experiments, Omega destabilizes and created... How big was the subspace rupture?
Several light years, that's what it says.
Okay. Created a rupture in subspace several light years in diameter. Basically rendering... Huh?
To be more specific, it rendered the entire Lantaru sector unable to warp.
in the Lantaru sector, and it destroyed subspace to the point where ships could not go to warp within the sector.
And of course, that information doesn't leave this room because that would change the timeline. I'm following.
Good, because that was actually just what I was about to say. And the Omega molecule, and this in turn gave rise to the Omega Directive. Starfleet captains are to, if they register the presence of the Omega molecule, they are to destroy it. You have recently come, and I'm going to change gears for a minute. This also does not leave this room. You are aware of the Terran Empire in what we colloquially call the Mirror Universe, correct?
I have a passing familiarity, but Saru's more of a subject matter expert, so maybe it's a good thing that he's here.
I'm suddenly imagining Saru's popping fear boners at this.
No, he's not.
How can he not?
He
Holy
is,
shit.
Well, because it's not an imminent thing, but he's like, yes, we've had encounters with the Terran Empire. We recently spent time in their universe. They are a most unpleasant group of people.
It's putting it mildly. I've spent a few days there myself, in a holding cell.
You have my condolences. From what I have read, my people are food.
Ugh. Bianca just kind of shudders a little bit. And then she goes on. And she says, we recently had an incursion into our universe from the Mirror Universe. And they stole technology that is able to stabilize the Omega molecule. And they were able to make it back to the Mirror Universe with this technology.
So they've got a weapon of mass destruction, worse than the one that Saru and the Discovery crew took out.
Yes.
And that's where we come in.
What's more, they came into our universe using a spore drive.
Guess we should have known they would have that technology since we have it, huh? Indeed, Captain, but I shudder to think at what they might be capable of with that technology.
I can show you. And she just keys the pad to show the simulation that Admiral Tata Jesco showed of the mycelial network.
Nice.
And Omega stabilizing. This isn't just a danger to the Mirror Universe. It's a danger to all existence.
I've read
These are the
reports. Yeah. I understand the gravity.
This is the circumstances that we have. And I appreciate your willingness to meet with me and discuss.
Well, I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I'm ready to do more than discuss, Captain. I'm ready to put Discovery at your disposal. What do you need?
Thank you. We're going to need engineering teams to be able to adapt the spore drive to our ship.
Okay.
Your sensors currently register us as a Constitution class. We are not a Constitution class. However, that is not something for your people to know. I have taken measures aboard my own ship to protect the timeline. But for your information, my ship has a crew of 2,000.
Yeah, that's more than will comfortably fit on a Constitution class. And
I figured you would be intimately aware of that.
That's how I knew your ship wasn't a Constitution class, but that didn't have to go in the official report.
We're just trying to cover our asses, Captain.
I hear you. I get it. I do. Like I said, we just got done with the mission where we had to cover our asses too. Not quite to the same extent, but you deal with one prime directive, you've dealt with all of them, right?
Well, there is a temporal part of the prime directive where I come from. And
makes sense. How often do you do this time? Well, don't answer that.
let's just say that this is an extraordinary circumstance.
Yes, yes, it is.
But what I'm going to need is I'm going to need engineering teams from Dauntless here and engineering teams from and science teams from Discovery on my ship. Like I said, I have taken great pains to safeguard my ship and her future secrets. My people are going to be in different uniforms. Explain that however you will. But
well,
let's just say that the spore drive, we are here because the spore drive is not the preferred method of propulsion in my time. And in order to get to the mirror universe reliability, we're going to need one. That's why we decided to come to the experts.
Because it says something that our expertise didn't make it to 2410, but you can't win them all.
Well, as you know, the spore drive is dangerous.
Probably not as well as Stamets does, but I'll let him lecture you on that one.
I'm sure he will. But
so
like I said,
you need the best minds on Discovery. You'll have them. You'll have as few of them as we can risk.
As are practicable, preferably.
Yes. We're on the same wavelength there, I think.
Good. I figured we might be.
All right. Well, given the circumstances, Captain, it's probably best if we do a site-to-site transport, unless you have anything else you need aboard Discovery.
I would like to see the spore drive.
And Stamets prefer.
We can do that. Computer?
With my officers.
Well, you get your officer. Let's get us there first. Computer? Site-to-site transport of the 3 individuals in this room to main engineering. Energize. And you guys are caught up in a very goldish glow, as opposed to kind of the particular effect of Dauntless's transporter room. You have to give me a moment here. I wasn't quite expecting this until next episode, not gonna lie, but I will adapt.
Make the board proud, Don.
Why, thank you. I think.
Also, what is Bianca getting from Pike throughout this?
A little bit annoyed at first because you were kind of telling him how to do business. But once that got squared away, and once he realized the gravity of the situation, he is 100% on board. But he is the type that you try and tell him like who on his crew needs to know something, and he's like, "No, I'm the one who makes that decision about what my crew needs to know. My captain, I'm the captain of my ship," kind of thing.
Right.
You guys materialize a few seconds later in main engineering. There are some canisters on the walls behind you. There's a containment chamber not like anything you've seen on a Starfleet vessel before. The warp drive is ancient by Federation standards. It is one of the old warp cores. I mean, very familiar in early 23rd century ships. Was phased out around the late 2260s, early 2270s, in favor of the Constitution refit warp cores, which were somewhat better contained.
Jonas would be having a field day. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he said he's not there.
Yeah. Speaking of Stamets, he kind of turns around and just kind of blinks in albino and is like, Captain Saru, we haven't met.
We have not. I am Captain Bianca West of the Federation starship Dauntless.
It kind of approaches you, a little bit of caution at first, offers to shake your hand. Nice uniform.
And she takes it. Thank you. It's new.
Yeah. So, what brings you guys down here on a site-to-site transport?
I have interest in your spore drive and your work.
And
Starfleet Command has given me leave to fit it aboard my ship.
let me have you make a presence command roll. This will be opposed. River Song, stop eating that receipt.
I'm going to buy a dice.
I just had a realization, and I'm not going to say anything until the episode.
My composure focus apply?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Says, really? I told you, Captain. I told you they would come back and they would be interested. They made a premature decision when they said they were going to decommission the spore drive. Was I not correct? And he is very pleased with himself right now.
Slow down, Mr. Stamets. It's just for the one-time thing.
Well, it's still twice as many ships as are using the spore drive right now because, well, let's not talk about the Glen.
Let's not. There's a reason I came to you.
So, what can we do to assist, captains?
I just want an overall... I just want to see how it works. You don't have to demonstrate fully. I just want to... because we are so unfamiliar with how it works, I don't even know how you would pilot such a thing. In fact, I am a pilot, and...
Piloting is tricky and also technically illegal, he says, and he's kind of wincing as he says this, but he pulls up his arm, he pulls up the sleeve on his uniform, and you see an implant that takes up most of his forearm. And that's where we're going to end the episode.
Oh my god, you'll have to take Stamets.
Who on our ship is gonna fucking pilot that fucking thing if we don't take Stamets?
Yeah, you're gonna have to take Stamets.
or you go back to the present, you rendezvous with the Pathfinder, you take Lieutenant Target and give him nipple clamp. It's one of the two.
Basically.
Or you conduct illegal genetic modification.
Technically, it's not illegal right now.
On your board.
Technically, it's not. No.
Hey, Jonas totally will put himself out there if this is needed to pilot it.
19 of 30 is one person who can't get in it.
Bianca is going to do it.
I love that we're all like, not Jonas.
Boy, I can't wait for this discussion in character next episode.
Oh boy.